Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. Today, I'll be talking about how much money you need to start investing on Cash App in 2025. Now, a lot of people think you need to save a certain amount of money to start investing, whether that's 100, 500, 1,000, right? In my opinion, you can start with $15 because that's literally all I had, and I have grown my investment portfolio all the way up to 685, which is really supposed to be over $700 with all the pending orders I have right now. But I'm going to talk to you guys about certain stocks like Nvidia, how I was earning more money, and how I started just how I started scaling my investments and set aside a lot of things in order to build it all the way up to $700, $800, almost $1,000. Okay, first things first, remember, it's not how much you make, it's what you do with what you make. You can make bi-weekly $160, okay, but if you literally save 50, let's say you save $50 for 5 months as a teenager, okay, you will end up having $250. Okay, so you can use that money to invest in something like Nvidia. You can use that money to invest in something like a ETF like S&P 500, right? You can use these small investments and have riskier investments on the side and realize a riskier investment, it is less chance for you to make money, but it can be a more of an upside. Okay, now, first things first, when did I make my first investment? Well, December 19, 2023, and $15 is all I had. And what I did with that is I invested in Nvidia, but I was very consistent with my investments, and I was very consistent with tracking and also taking profits. A lot of times we get to a point where we just want to see that we're up 20, we're up 23, we're up 30%, but we don't want to take profit, right? As you guys can see, I started with just $15, 2023, December 19, and this is literally me investing, literally being ahead of my age, being ahead of the people in my college classes, being ahead of the people let's say in some of my high school classes, because people, it's good to spend money, but if you're younger, you have more money to work with instantly because you're not paying bills. You're not doing extra stuff on the side. So you can make a really small investment of $15, right, and grow it up slowly, and then you can essentially take profit and sell. All it took was 4 to 5 months for me to make $17, but let's say if that $15 was $1,500, right, I would definitely have made more than $300-400. And the money is in the charts, the money is in your graphs, the money is in literally the financials of a company. You just have to be able to know what to do. Okay, now slowly after a month, I invest a little more. As you guys can see, I invested on December 19, 2023, and then after that I invested January 16th. So I slowly grew that portfolio, and what I started to realize is key terms that you have to know when investing: bullish, bearish, fair value gaps and charts, earning records, PE ratio, operating margin. Okay, these terms will teach you more than you need to know, and will teach you how to be a better investor. Okay, learn, then earn. Number one thing I tell a lot of people is you have to be able to know what you're doing with your money. Now, I may have made an investment of only $15, as you see, back in 2023, but what I did was I slowly grew it over time, right? And I slowly made this little investment, and I sold it all the way up at these highs, and I made smart moves by buying low, selling high, buying low, selling high. Okay, but that comes with knowledge, that comes with experience, and if you don't have knowledge or experience, you're not going to make money in the stock market. Unfortunately, this is not a gamble. This is not something like parlays, or this is not something where you just have a extreme 50-50 chance of either you hit or lose. Sometimes you have more than a 50% chance of getting your money back, depending on how much research and financial metrics you look into. Okay, so what does bullish mean? Bullish means stock is on the rise and it's going up. If you buy at the right time, you will be making money. Okay, bullish means a stock is at an uptrend. Now, bearish is the opposite of bullish. The stock is going down. If a stock is going down and you believe in it, it's the time to buy. Okay, think about it like this. You don't want to buy a pair of shoes when they're $300. Okay, the price is more attractive when it's $250, when it's 50% off, when it's $150, right? So that's the same thing with stocks. Okay, you're essentially buying an asset for cheaper when the price goes down, but you have to make sure the reason why the stock is going down is ideal. If a stock is going down because they're going through 5 lawsuits and they're in debt, that is not the right time to buy. But if a stock is like Nvidia is going down just because of a little bit of price correction, a little bit of profit taken, nothing's wrong with that. People like money. People like to take their profits. Some billionaires, millionaires probably sold some shares. They sold heavy shares. The company itself does buybacks. Nvidia can buy its own stocks back. That's something legal. That's something a lot of businesses do, right? They do that and the stock comes down. Okay, that can happen when they're selling millions of shares, right, to take profit. Now, fair value gap, a gap in the charts when it bumps up. The stock mostly comes down to fill that gap, but this indicates to take profit. This is a sudden jump in the stock. As you guys can see on the right side, there are kind of big gaps in the stock. Now, whenever you see a stock jumping up like this, I don't like investing at that time, right? I like to look for the red candles, or I like to see for some price movement towards the downside, and then I invest. Okay, because here's what I mean. If you guys look at Tuesday, 4 o'clock, okay, Nvidia is at 143. But if you look at 10 a.m. Wednesday, we have this big bump up all the way up to $146. Now, you may think, oh my God, this is the right time to invest. I think I'm missing my turn to invest in Nvidia, right? You panic, you get anxious, and you buy, okay? Now, what happens? Yeah, you're making profit up here, but instantly after a couple of days, the stock comes all the way back down. Now, if you knew not to buy right here because of this gap, you would have been considered a smart investor. You would have waited, been more patient. So patience is key to the game. Wealth is not built overnight, okay? You could be instantly rich if you hit something big in crypto, or hit something big in the gambling side of things, but investing in stocks and businesses is different from gambling, or is way different from crypto. It's different from a digital currency. So what I'm trying to teach you guys here is don't get this wrong for quick profit. Now, you can make quick profit from a cheap stock. Nvidia is not a cheap penny stock. This is a company that's been around for a while. It's dominating the AI industry. This is why I like to talk about it, okay? Because it is something that ideally you could hold for a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, okay? Earning records. What is earning records? Well, it helps you see how a company is doing financially. Around the start of January and quarterly, so after every 3 months, a company produces earning records. Some companies are like a little bit off, but however, they produce their earning records. They have set these little meetings up with Wall Street. They tell them how their company's doing, and they talk about new products and overall how the business is doing, okay? This causes a lot of businesses to boom up. For example, Walmart, Target. Let's get into retail side of things. Let's do Nike, or I don't know. Let's do a business that resells, right? Now, a business that's reselling well, okay, but they don't have a lot of buyers. Let's say they do an earnings report. They do a meeting, they do a live event, for example, right? And they talk about new products. They talk about new things that a company is going to release, right? What does that do to the stock? It pushes it up, okay? For example, started this month, we saw 152.19. Why? Well, the CEO talked about the stock. The CEO talked about quantum computing. Jensen is the CEO of this company. If you guys look over here, the CEO is also stated right here. Jensen Huang is his last name, I think. But he was talking about Nvidia, and you see this bump up within days, okay? We start off January 2nd, pretty ideal, right? 11 a.m., 143. But from January 3rd to January 17th, we have about a 6% up, and we go all the way up to 152.19, really close to that 52-week high, okay? So this shows you the impact of the CEO, right? The leaders, the management team. You need to know if the management team is ideal and they know what they're doing. Look at Intel. Intel is falling. Why? They have poor management. Intel is not a bad stock. I'll tell you this right now. They've been around the tech industry for a while, right? They're not a bad stock, right? We have seen that Intel start of 2023 somewhere. This is a $50 stock. 2021, $65 stock, right? But it always seems to have these big dips, but it makes back up for it sooner or later, right? But what caused Intel to just be destroyed this year? First of all, it's poor management. It's having a bad, I wouldn't say having a bad CEO, but having a CEO that just can't comply with other people and work together. Jensen seems to do the complete opposite. He likes to not only work with his team, right, but his live meetings are so impactful that within 3 to 6 days, you see the stock run up 6%. Okay, Intel needed that, right? And they couldn't perform. They had a heavy investing strategy. It didn't perform as well, and this downside of the company ruined it when it was down 60%, right, in the middle of the year, and they haven't seemed to recover after that. So this right here would not be a good buy, right? It will be a good buy if you have a high risk tolerance, if you don't care about losing $3,000, $4,000. Understand these things and you'll be a better investor. PE ratios are a decent way to see if a stock is overvalued or undervalued. A lot of people like to see the PE ratio as a decent indicator. I like to see it, right? But I don't like to make significant decisions based on it. If Palantir, crazy PE ratio, right? But I think the stock is still overvalued. The higher you see the number be for PE ratio, the more I like to, resettle, rethink my investment and think of the price being oversold, or a lot of people are just buying because of the hype. Okay, operating margin, how much profit a company keeps after their bills. It's very important you look at operating margin. For example, let's look at operating margin for Intel. So it's not even answered. So that is not a good indicator. Sometimes they're not even answered, so you have to go on a different external website, right? So operating margin for Apple is 31.51. So they're working with a lot of cash. So this cash is basically how much profit a company keeps after their bills. Let's say you get $1,000, okay, and your rent is $500, which I hope the rent was $500, okay? But let's say the rent is $500, and you pay your all your car notes, your insurance, all the bills off, and you're left with $200. So totally in bills, you paid $800 and you're left with $200. But if you're left with 31% of your money after sales in a $1 billion company like Apple, right? That is a very good sign. And then on the other hand, if you see operating margin of NVIDIA compared to Apple, you can obviously see that how NVIDIA is dominating, right? Because it's double from what Apple is, which is it's not the 40, it's not 50, it's 31 plus 31, 62. It's double from what Apple is working with, okay? So keep these things in mind and you will be a better investor. And it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Get started on Cash App. Start with $15, start with $10. You don't need to start big, right? But you need to gain knowledge. Knowledge kills, knowledge is power, and it's going to help you build wealth. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Start as soon as possible. Make sure you get your kids started. Make sure you get your friends started, okay? Because it's not fun if you're the only wealthy guy in the family and you can't help nobody else on the side as well. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.